Hi everyone, Mark Merrill. Welcome to Firm. Common sense should equal common goals. When you're talking about politicians and businessmen here, sometimes things get out of hand. This is regarding, folks, our only topic in this episode about the California firestorms, specifically in LA County. But what does common sense have to do with issues that our country has been forced to deal with since the Obama Biden regime and the Biden Harris democracy? LGBTQA special rights, student unrest on college campuses of anti Semitism, including protests of anti American values in support of Hamas and Hezbollah attacks on Israel. And now, you know, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop with the leftists. I'm not saying Trump's not to blame for some of this himself, because I'm about to tell it to you. Now, of course, Californication land, as we call it here on Firm, is the hottest place on earth in a real bad way. With land burned to a crisp, people fleeing to avoid loss of life, and no water to be found in hydrants except at Gavin Newsom's house, apparently salvaged for his hair, and press corps video reports. You see, folks, common sense is really this, per definition of our friends at Merriam-Webster, who we always refer to. Common sense is a noun. Get that over there, Willie? Common sense is a noun. The synonyms of common sense are sound and prudent judgment based on a simple perception of the situation or facts. I know. So here's what's going on between two opposites while Los Angeles County burns. Sound familiar from ancient Rome, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to start with a fact check article here, folks, and this is from the wonderful people at the LA Times. Why is Trump blaming the LA fires on Newsom's water policies? Well, the county wildfires triggered a rant from President-elect Trump, who blamed Newsom for depriving Southern California of water. Trump recently repeated a claim he made in the past that the state efforts to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt have caused pain and hardship in California. Governor Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snowmelt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California during Trump's first administration, including the areas that are currently burning in virtual apocalyptic ways, says Trump, as he wrote on Truth Social today about the past that he made the offer in a declaration. But, of course, Newsom's office, right here, Mr. Wonderful, underneath the finger where he belongs, sharply rebuked and said in his reality check to Mr. Trump, "There is no such document as the Water Restoration Declaration. It's pure fiction." It's just par for the course, ain't it? His communications director, Izzy Garden, told Newsom in a written statement the governor is focused on protecting people, not playing politics, and making sure firefighters have all the resources they need. Sakes. The fires burning in LA County were fanned by severe winds and exacerbated by near zero rainfall throughout Southern California, but sending more water south from the Bay Delta would have done nothing to prevent them or extinguish them. There's a reality check for you right there, Gavi. Mark Gold, Water Scarcity Director for the Natural Resources Defense Council, And a board member of the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California said Trump's comments don't reflect California's complex water supply system and just fan the flames of political discontent. Oh, now come on. Is he trying to be a comedian? Mr. Gold went on to say tying Bay Delta management to devastating wildfires that have cost people's lives and homes is nothing short of irresponsible. And it's happening at a time when the Metropolitan Water District has the most water stored in its system in the history of the agency. That's kind of false. You can't even get water out of hydrants, according to the chiefs of fire departments around the county. It's not a matter of having enough water to put out a fire, finished Mr. Gold. He said it's about the continued devastating impacts of a changing climate. Climate change. Climate change? Trump appeared to be referring to water imported south from the Bay Delta, fed by Northern California rivers and snowmelt. But most LA water does not come from Northern California. It comes from the city's 112-year-old aqueduct. And that runs from the Owens Valley east of the Sierra Nevada, not the Delta, as well as groundwater. The city also imports water from the Metropolitan Water District, which relays water from the Colorado River and Delta to numerous local agencies. The city was the main motivating force for the building of the Colorado River Aqueduct in the 1930s. Isn't that a nice history lesson? Do we really need to know that? In December, Biden's administration and state officials agreed to a new long-term operating plan for the Delta water projects that effectively replaced rules produced by the first Trump administration in 2019, an action that may have sparked Trump's latest social media post. Get that? Here it is again. Biden administration, just a month ago, maybe less, December, and state of California officials agreed to a new long-term operating plan for the Delta water projects that effectively replaced rules produced by the Trump administration in 2019, an action that may have sparked Trump's latest social media post. The new rules adjust water allocations for cities and farms in an attempt to restore depleted populations of salmon and other fish, including the endangered Delta smelt. But, another fact check, some Central Valley farmers in Southern California cities will see more water and have endorsed the plan, while some farmers will get less. Water exports from the Delta to the San Joaquin Valley and Southern California via the State Water Project increase under the new plan. Doesn't help things any, does it? Hell no. Now here's a follow-up from USA Today. Another non-reliable source, if you ask us, folks. Costs from the California wildfires will be astronomical as million-dollar homes burn. According to Dinah Pulver, the report published on January 8th, the fires torched more homes and businesses in LA County, exploding in size and adding to the more than 1,100 structures that had already been destroyed by dawn. She was writing on January 8th, with one early estimate putting a potential damage at near $10 billion. Even before the additional homes and apartments were destroyed, the largest of the fires, Palisades Fire, was quickly pushing its way upward on the list of most destructive in state history, with 1,000 destroyed structures. The fire had burned more than 15,000 acres, while the other large fire in the county, the Eaton Fire, had burned 10,600 acres. More than 200 structures, said county officials. At least 5 people reported were dead. The acreage burn still paled in comparison to the hundreds of thousands burned in the largest wildfires in state history, but that fact was offset by the real estate prices in the areas burning in Southern California, according to Char Miller, professor of environmental analysis and history at Pomona College at Claremont, and author of Burn Scars, A History of Fire Suppression. An independent research team at the financial services company J.P. Morgan said earlier that it expected the insured losses from Palisades fire approaching $10 billion, as previously mentioned. The median home price in Palisades. Think we got it bad here in Maine? Check this out. An affluent residential area is more than $3 million, a median home price. J.P. Morgan reported, where the Camp Fire, the median home price in Butte County was less than $500,000. Oh, well, gee, a mere pittance. The Camp Fire, the deadliest and most destructive in state history, burned over 153,000 acres and destroyed nearly 19,000 structures. Economic losses at $15 billion. Pacific Palisades, one of the top 25 most expensive zip codes in the entire country, according to a Fairas Sala, director of North American wildfire models at Moody's, the global research and analysis firm. Moody's had not yet released preliminary loss estimates Wednesday, but losses are likely to run in the billions, as already previously mentioned twice, given the high value of homes and businesses in the area, according to a vice president, senior credit officer for Moody's Ratings Service. Hundreds of firefighters battled high winds and extreme conditions on 5 fires, burning in the county on January 8th by morning. Cooper, the vice president of senior credit for Moody's, said the wildfires in the LA County region have caused tragic loss of life and widespread destruction of property. The more disturbing element of the state's large and destructive fires is how recent the record largest and most destructive fires have been. They gave a breakdown from 2002 to 2020. Just the number of acres burned are over 1 million in the last 22 years. Gee, I don't know about you folks, but that sounds pretty devastating to me. As far as Mr. Newsom and Mr. Trump are concerned, I think you better start trying to mend a few fences here and there. Because, as far as we're concerned here at Firm, what happens next? Isn't that his problem? No, his problem. Meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. As always, Mark Merrill here for Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media. Catch all our podcasts here on rumble.com/fairnessmedia1. We're also on Twitter, YouTube, and always check in with us on emails at fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com, fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com. Peace to everyone.